Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, first of all, we would like to say thank you very much to our God has given us His blessing, opportunity, and good health, so we can gather here to discuss about grammar translation method. So, before we start to discuss about grammar translation method, allow us to introduce ourselves first. My name is Sanaria. My ID student number A1M220022.
Okay, my name is Siska Amelia. My student ID number A1M220024.
My name is Ode Awalin. My official number A1M2200 and 30.
Okay, my name is Ode Asi Sandi and official number A1M220028.
Okay, so maybe guys, now we have to start to discuss about grammar translation method. So it means before we discuss so far, as good maybe we have to know first what the definition first, in order we can try to explain one by one the more explanation about grammar translation method. So maybe one of you can explain what's the grammar translation method actually.
Okay, let me explain to you about that. So we have a lot of material of this book
Yes.
that our teacher gave to us 2 or 3 days ago. Oh, 1 week ago. There are a lot of material, but we just discussed about GTM or grammar translation method. So I just want to share to you about the definition of GTM or grammar translation method.
Yes.
I read of the book. GTM or grammar translation method is a language teaching method. Method that is used by students to be able to read literary works written in the target of language.
Oh, okay.
The target of language in this case it means English language.
Oh, okay.
And I know that about the goals. How can we achieve the goals of this method? So our students can be achieve these goals if they know the rules of grammar and memorize a lot of vocabulary in their mind to get the goals of this book. And I 100% believe that if we try to learn foreign language, it will be develop the critical of our minds. Um, that's all from me. I will heard before about your knowledge about this book, and after that, I will share my knowledge too about the
Okay.
principle. But
Of
maybe you
course.
can speak first about that.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the definition that you have given to us. So maybe I can catch many informations before from your explanation before. So it means according to your opinion or based on your opinion, grammar translation method is a method that to teach foreign language, target
Yes.
language, which is English language, right? So maybe before of course, grammar translation method have advantages and disadvantages. But before we enter to that sites, I think I want to share to you about what the characteristics of grammar translation method. Okay, but based on your explanation before, grammar translation method is the first characteristic is in the class the teacher are taught the students by mother tongue and which little use active in target language. I mean here we know the target language is English, but grammar translation method just emphasize on how to translate text in a good sentence, which is from their mother tongue into English or English into mother tongue. So that's why their teacher taught the students by mother tongue and use just a little in the active language, which is language target. The second is the grammar translation method just focus on how the way the sentence can get the best structure in the sentence. as you know, that grammar translation method that just focus on the grammatical or the structure of the sentence, and also how the way to give the best translation, or how the way the student can translate mother tongue their mother tongue into English, or English into mother tongue. So the next is, in class, the teacher their teachers try to explain or elaborate explanation with the widely explanation about the grammar, because as I said before, this grammar translation method, or GTM, just focus on the two sides, which are grammar or the structure, and how the way to translate the best the best how the way, yes, how the way to translate the best sentence. So I think in this grammar translation method, the students also have to learning much or learning more about vocabularies, because it's really not easy for translate the language from mother tongue into English, and English into mother tongue. So that's why for one of the characteristic too of grammar translation method is the teacher taught the students vocabulary in the list form. It means, for example, when the students find out one word that they can, or they do know how what the meaning in English, and they have to make a list for that words for memorize that too, and they can translate the sentence into the best structure or the best grammatical. I think that is the characteristics of grammar translation method. So maybe all of you have one of you or anyone, maybe you have other sites or other knowledges about grammar translation method, which is maybe for the advantages or the disadvantages. Maybe you can explain to us too, based on what Nurul, Awalin said, and what I have said to you all, and maybe you have opinion too about grammar translation method.
Who go first?
Who go first? Who will be the first? You or you? Okay, you. Okay. Same is yours, Asi.
Okay. And advantages of grammar translation method. 1. In grammar translation method, the first language as the reference system in the learning as the second language. Okay. 2. Systematic study of grammatical rules plays an important role in fostering student ability in fostering students' ability of reading comprehension and production grammatically correct sentences. 3. The focus on understanding literary text provides the situation in which reading and writing abilities correct sentences. Abilities are well trained. 4. The grammar translation makes few demands on teachers, although it often creates frustration for students.
Okay. So
There is some advantage from grammar translation method.
Yes.
Maybe we can hear some explanation about this material. What else we can know about this? Next we can know about this knowledge.
Yes.
It's about the principle.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my turn again.
Okay. It's okay.
Okay.
You can tell anything about grammar translation method in order we can gain so many knowledges about grammar translation method.
Okay, before I explain my explanation about the definition about this method, grammar translation, and like this is about the principle.
Yes.
To know the principle in the book, I remember it is the 38th page of the book. It is explained that the teacher in this activity made some observation activity in the classroom. They just make the learning process, and after the learning process, we know about the principle. So the student just make some activity in the classroom, and after that, the teacher know. Oh, this is the principle of the grammar translation method. Let me give you an example for this.
Before you give example or explanation about that, so it means the teacher made or find the principle after the activity in the class.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's really interesting. So let me know well about that.
Okay. The first activity in the classroom is about the students read about one of book in the classroom. This is the book marked Taiwan Lives on the Mississippi. I don't know what kind of book, but make sure they just read about this book from excerpt. So the principle of this activity is the fundamental purpose to learning a language is to be able to read literary writing in the book. So the students can be able to speak another language.
Oh, okay.
And the second activity, I know that the students translate the passage from English to Spanish.
Okay.
I don't give you example for Indonesia because in their activity they use Spanish as the language.
Yes.
They try to English to Spanish.
Okay.
For example, maybe we can go to the market, so we should choose the direction to go to in
Yes.
there. But this is the Spanish language, so
Okay.
they try to translate to English language. So from this, we can know that the important thing that in the principle, student can be able to translate in the best way to go to the market. Even though they don't know the Spanish, they try to translate into a good sentence to English.
Yes.
So
The target language.
okay, that is the two important principle. But if I conclude, there's a lot of principle in here. But if I conclude, the more important things that whatever the more of the principle in this book, but the one thing that I think that it is the most important, students should be able to know a more vocabulary to translate, and they should know the rules of grammar.
Yes.
So if they try to translate it to another language, they know they make the good sentence of the memorize of the good grammar.
Yes.
So the important thing is the grammar and vocabulary.
Yes.
They have to know the skills of good writing to
Yes.
translate it. Maybe that's all. Make sure this is a lot of mosquito.
Oh, yes.
I feel uncomfortable in this place.
Okay. So based on your explanation, we have get so many knowledges about that. So I can highlight that for the some principles that you have given to us. The first is the students have to be able to to translate from in this case, for example, you give us like Spanish into English or English into Spanish, right?
Yes.
So because it's really useful when they want to go anywhere, for example, and when because I think when we have to when we will go in a place, and then in that place, for example, use for the direction use use their mother tongue, or let's say in the target language. And maybe the students, if the students never if the teacher never teach the students grammar translation method, it's really make a big possible that the students will not be able to know what's the meaning, or what's the what's the in the market try to give or try to share information for the students, right? And the second one is the students must be able to remember vocabularies, so many vocabularies, because that is the best. What is the important thing that for doing translate, you have to know so many vocabularies, right? And also the best the best knowledge is about grammar or the structure of the sentences, right?
And one more time, they
Yes.
have ability to communicate
Yes.
with other language. Maybe just it's just not about English, but maybe another English,
Yes.
another language. I mean, they have ability to communicate with
Yes.
each other.
Okay.
That's
right.
important thing too.
Yes. So maybe we have other
Not
insights
a-
again
Hmm.
for this grammar translation method. If the advantages have been given to us, so I will hear too. How about the disadvantages? So maybe you can tell us about the disadvantages of this grammar translation method. So okay.
Okay, now it's me, guys. I think there is advantage. There are also disadvantage. I think there are four disadvantage of grammar translation method. I think first, emphasis on translation can never emancipate the learners from dependence on the first language. And second, the grammar translation method put the much emphasis on reading and writing and neglects listening and speaking.
Oh.
Third, I think in the grammar translation method, the texts are mostly taken from literary works. The language learned often doesn't meet the practical needs on the learners. And fourth, I think memorizing grammar rules and bilingual words listen does not motivate students to actively communicate in the target language.
Yes.
I think it is from for the advantage of grammar translation method. Do you have the same opinion, guys?
Yes.
So there is a problem, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's really a big problem, because as you know that, for example, I'm sorry. For example, like we are in English major, right? So the demand for us is we have to master in 4 skills, which are listening, speaking, writing, and listening.
Reading,
Listening, reading, speaking, and
writing.
It's really burden us, you know. And for after I heard the disadvantages from grammar translation method, which I just highlight one point, which are grammar translation method just emphasize in the writing and
Reading.
writing and reading, and it neglects the speaking and also the listening, because I think I really cannot I don't know, I want to say what I want to say again, because this grammar translation method, I think it's not enough good, right, for teaching student, because we have to later we will be an educator, right? So you have to try to teach our students with in order they can master in 4 skills, like I said before: listening, writing, speaking, and reading, right? So what's your opinion, what's your opinion about grammar translation method. Is it effective or not, or how, based on your opinion?
I think it is not enough if I try to use this method in the classroom. There is a lot of problem that we have to fix, but I'm wondering where we can ask this. Okay, last week our teacher said that we have to ask about this in group 1.
Yes.
Maybe they have a good solution, so I have a plan.
Ah,
How you could ask to them? Maybe they have a good solution for this, but
yes.
I
That's
have
right.
no idea about this.
Okay. So how about you? Is it effective or no?
Yeah.
Is it effective? No? Yes?
No.
Her
No.
face explanation about this.
Yeah.
No, about the
Yeah.
answer for her phrase.
Yes. So how about you? Is it effective or no? Based on you have explained about these advantages, and maybe you can tell us your opinion about it.
I can to I think this is
It's not good enough.
I think very effective, but to translation grammar method
It's not enough for our class, maybe.
yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not enough.
So actually, when we try to look from writing and reading size, it's really effective, right?
Right.
Do you agree with me?
But
Yes?
but listening and
Yeah.
speaking.
But in listening and speaking, it's really ineffective,
Yeah.
right? Yes, that's right. That's why one of the disadvantages or shortcomings or the weakness of this grammar translation method is not just the speaking and also the listening. And it's so do you think which one the most important according to your opinion? Listening, writing, speaking, or reading? Which one the most important? Yang paling penting.
The most important.
Yes.
I mean, this is according to the situation that
Okay.
in front of us, because a different situation is different skill we need.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe in the classroom, if the speaking class, we have to be able to
Speak
speak
Yeah.
well. In writing class, we know about writing, good grammar and vocabulary.
Yes.
This is about the situation.
Yes.
I don't have idea to say that this is for important in one situation. I don't agree with the statement because, for example, when we in the grammar class, we don't have to more speak,
Yes.
but
that's
we just
right.
have writing skills and vocabulary memorized.
Yes.
A lot of vocabulary. It is according to situation. How about you guys? Do you have an idea about that?
Yes. Which one the most important? Listening, speaking, writing, or speaking? Or maybe you agree with the statement or the opinion from our friends, so Nurul, Awalin. He said that she said that
According to
it's
situation.
according to the situation. Tergantung situasinya.
Yes, I think I agree with opinion Nurul Awalin.
It depends on the situation.
Yes, depend on situation.
Depends on the situation. Yes, I think I really agree with that because, for example, too, when we are in writing skills, when we are, let's say Pak Husnun ya,
Yeah.
let's say we are talking about academic writing. In academic writing, you don't need to speaking well or in that course, your listening is it's really not too
It's useful. Maybe?
listening
Mm.
in writing
Mm.
really
Unuseful.
yes unuseful. I think you say it's really useful. I'm sorry. Okay, so how about you? Do you agree with Nurul Awalin or no? Okay, yes. Yes, you really agree.
Yes.
Okay, it means you agree too with for that for skills that it depends on the situation, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So maybe do you have any explanation again about grammar translation method?
I think that's enough for me.
Yes.
This is all of thing that I know from the book. The book is, I'm sorry, it's too complicated. There are
Yes.
a lot of texts, and I have to conclude and
Yes.
summarize and tell to you guys. I hope there are a good summarize from our older friends so they can share to us.
And how about you? Any explanation or no?
It is enough.
No.
You?
I think no.
Oh, okay. So for closing our discussion today, I wanna summarize or I take the conclusion. Okay, our important discussion today is the first is about the definition of grammar translation method, the principles, the advantages and disadvantages, and also the characteristics of grammar translation method. So for all the explanation, I can conclude that grammar translation method is a method that teacher taught or the teacher taught the students to know well about the structure or the grammar and how the best how to get the best way to translate from mother tongue into another language or from another language to mother tongue. And then the unfortunately what is it not bad news actually, but grammar translation method just emphasize into writing and reading skills and neglects the speaking and listening skills, right? So I think enough for our discussion today,
Yes,
right?
enough.
I think so.
Yeah, it's enough.
Enough. I feel uncomfortable about the
Okay.
mosquito and ants.
Okay, so if that's all of our discussion today, so maybe we have to say salam together. Okay? Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you.